Hello friends, it's Carla here today for Kraftin Kimmie Stamps. It's World Card Making Day and I hope you're having an amazing day. We have some fun lives and challenges over in the Kraftin Kimmie group, and today I'm going to do a Gatefold card, and this is using the adorable Crackin holiday stamp set that was just released earlier in September. So here's a look at the card that I made for the release, and it opens up from the center, and then I've even got a little nutcracker inside, and you saw that belly band there. So we have some images that I've already colored, and I'm going to color one of these on camera so you can see the markers that I use. It's the same pretty much for all of them. I just changed up the main colors of their little accessories and coats, and they are so cute. So I am just placing the marker cap there for the colors that I'm using, and I do some reds and greens and pinks and add a little bit of yellow in. These guys are just adorable, and they have the sweetest little sentiments. So they were really fun to create with. And I have a list of all the dimensions for the card and all the patterned paper, and you'll see that in a few minutes. So I've stamped these guys directly on a white piece of cardstock that's cut to 2 1/4 by 3 1/2. And they're going to fit perfectly on each side of that gatefold card that's going to open up. So they're super cute, and I have really had fun making some stuff. I've seen a lot of stuff in the Kraftin Kimmie group that people have created with them, and it's lots of inspiration. You can also check out the Kraftin Kimmie Stamps website, and if you go to the stamp set, I love that they have lots of cards that the design team has put together, so you can see all the different ways that you can use these. Now we're moving on to the pink accessories and belts and the little parts of his hat, and I really like this combination with the pinks and greens. I do like getting my paper first so that I have an idea of what colors I'm going to use and what colors look good together. It's a good way to color coordinate your project and your coloring to your paper, and you already know that it looks great. If you like that paper, you're going to like the color combination. So he's got some little yellow boots on there, and I'm just coloring in a few little pieces. These guys color up pretty quickly, and then we will move on to putting that card together. So for World Card Making Day, we have lots of videos that were in the group. Like I said, you can check out the Kraftin Kimmie Friends Facebook group, and that's where you will find some live videos. I'm actually re-uploading this. When I did the live, it was just a little bit glitchy, and I wanted to share it because it's such a cute card. So I ended up just saving it to my phone and thought I would fast forward a couple things so you don't hear all the chit chat, but focus mainly on the coloring and the dimensions and putting the card together. So we have a challenge this weekend as well. We have a fun re-release of the Christmas is Love stamp set, and you can check my blog, which I will link below, where you'll find a look at that stamp set, which is so darling. It has 2 little images with a tree and then with scissors, so the little girls are decorating for the holidays. And this was the Christmas is Love was an older stamp set that Kimmie has brought back out, which is really fun because they're just timeless and they're so awesome. This stamp set here, the Crackin Holiday, was one of the new releases, like I said, last month. And we had all Christmas, really great stamp sets and images, and you'll see one of the coordinating stencils that came out last month as well. And I'll use that here in a little bit. So if you're looking for those, you can look on the Kraftin Kimmie Stamps website, and you can always check out the new goodies tab, and you'll be able to see what's new in the shop. There was always also a Christmas train, and there's a nativity set, and they are all really, really lovely. So you'll see various people creating with different sets this weekend, and sharing those for World Card Making Day. Hopefully I will get a little chance to make a few more cards today. I know there's lots of inspiration all over the internet, which is really great. And I'm happy to get started on my Christmas cards. So I'm just pulling out my white gel pen. I always like to add a few little dots and lines to various areas on the stamped image. Once it's all colored up, I find it just gives just a fun pop of highlight, and then if you have any spots that you've gone out of the lines, you can just easily fix that. And there's a look at the guy who's going to be on the other side. And then this is the guy that's going to be inside, and they're all really cute. Here's the Jelly Roll Stardust Clear pen that I use to add just a little bit of shimmery, clear. It's not really a color, it's a little silvery, and it goes over. It's translucent, it'll go over whatever color you put it over and just have a really shiny effect. So here's a look at those dimensions for the Gatefold card. There's the card base and the belly band and the front, and then there's even a little circle embellishment that goes right on the front. So here is the card base, and this is cut to 4 1/4 by 11, so it's half of a large sheet of paper, cardstock, that would be 8 1/2 by 11. And you're going to score it 2 3/4 inches from each side. So that's going to allow you to fold those edges over. And I like to use a bone folder just to get a nice sharp crease. And then you're going to be able to decorate that. So it's really a very, very simple card fold, but it looks so cool. So I cut some paper. This is actually a Cricut paper pack, and I'm just using some Precious Pink, which was a new ink that was released last month as well from Kraftin Kimmie. And I'm using a blender tool and just blending on my mat onto the paper, and then sponging around the edge to give it just a slight pink edge. I really love the Kraftin Kimmie inks. They work with Copics and watercolor, and they are really beautiful colors. So I'm gluing on the panels directly to the front of the card. So the front card panels are 2 3/4 by 4 1/4. Then you see the plaid paper there that's going to sit on top of that, and that plaid paper is going to be 2 1/2 by 4. I'm just edging that with some Fresh Fields Kraftin Kimmie ink, and then gluing that directly on top. So the card that I showed is a little tiny bit different, and there is a post on my blog where you can see close-ups and details of that, and I'll link that in the description. Now I'm just going to add in the sentiments. There's some really great sentiments in this set, and they're so punny and go so well with the Nutcracker images. So I'm just using some of the ruby red crafty color ink and using my stamp press to stamp that down. And I'll just go over it one more time to make sure I get everything covered. So that's going to go directly on the front of our card. I love that ruby red color. It's such a nice red, especially for Christmas. Then we're going to stamp inside the card, and I'm just kind of placing that little guy to get an idea of how far up to add the sentiment. And again, just using the ruby red ink and stamping that cute little sentiment inside. So now we can go ahead and add a little bit of that precious pink around the edge just to soften those edges and give it a little pink tinge. And I'm gluing those directly down. I want to keep everything pretty flat on the front of the gatefold card because the belly band will be going over top and I don't want it to get caught on the bottom of anything. And then inside we'll glue our cute little nutcracker. I really love his little pink outfit. It's adorable. And then there's some nuts that come with this stamp set, which you could create a whole card with just these nuts. I think it would be really cute. But I grabbed the peanut and put that inside. And now we're going to get to work on this belly band. So we've got a strip of white paper, and that's 1 inch by 5.5 inches. And I'm laying on the Holiday Lights stencil, and this is one of the new ones that came out with the September release as well. I'm using a little bit of washi tape and a small blending brush just to get the specific areas that I want. I am using 3 colors of ink for these lights, so I'm just blocking off 2 of the closest openings here. And then going back again, so we've got the precious pink and then the ruby red, and we'll go back with the green to do the last piece. I really, really like this stencil, and when I pull it off, you could totally do a whole background with polka dots. It would look fabulous. So here's the reveal. Of course, that's the fun of stenciling. So isn't that pretty? I think a whole background with that would look so amazing. Now we have the string, and this string attaches to either the stars or the lights or the balls there that we're doing. And I'm just using the Wicked Black ink, and it looks so good. Every time I do this stencil, I love it. I just love the highlights that the stenciling creates. And here's the belly band. So this is our 12-inch by 1.5 inch piece of pattern paper. And I'm just wrapping it around and kind of creasing it by hand. I'm not creating a super sharp crease, and it's not super tight. So we're going to be able to glue this on just to itself. We don't want to glue it to the card so that it will slide on and off. So that's why we don't want it really, really super tight, just snug so that it will keep the card closed, but it will slide off. And here's that panel that we stenciled. So we are going to add a little bit of the Fresh Fields ink right around the edge, just to give it a little bit of that shadow on the edge, and then glue that directly onto the front. I'm just kind of centering it here. And here we have our little circle embellishments. So I have about a 1.5 inch circle that is die cut. And then this is a 1 inch circle that I punched, and I'm actually sponging it with the precious pink ink, which I just love. I'm going to glue that directly to the 1.5 inch circle. And then we're going to add some of those cute little nuts. There's a walnut and a hazelnut. So we can add a little bit of foam tape to the top of this because it's going to sit on top of the belly band. and just kind of center it. We're going to move that belly band down when we feature the card just so we can see their little faces poking over. And I'm gluing the walnut and the hazelnut directly down onto that 1-inch circle and then adding a little bit of white gel pen highlights. Now I've grabbed a Wink of Stella pen that I actually just refilled with a liquid glittery clear spray. And I'm going right over those lights to add a real shimmery finish to them, which I love. And we're adding a little bit of the Christmas dots. These came out as well in September. They're beautiful colors. And we're just going to add those, one to each of their little hats. And then we've got 3 on that belly band. These are really fun to create with. Just add a little pop of color. And then I go back in with the white gel pen and just add some highlights to those lights to finish it off. So there's a look up close at that card. I think it turned out really well. You could definitely use this technique for any kind of Christmas cards, any paper, any stamps, or any theme of card. So definitely check out the Kraftin Kimmie Stamps Friends Facebook group, where you can find all the fun activities going on for World Cardmaking Day. We always have lives and lots of sharing in the group, which is really fun. Thanks so much for stopping by. I would love for you to like and subscribe, and I hope you have a really happy day. Happy crafting!